Welcome back to a brand new video, my fellow ARK and pirate lovers. Today we are going over Genesis Part 1. If you didn't see in yesterday's video, we had our first look at the brand new ocean biome, which is coming to Genesis Part 1, which is going to be a map-sized ocean biome, which is super exciting. But we've got to talk about many points here, because it's been talked about a lot over on X or Twitter, whatever you call it, and I thought it was a really interesting point to bring up. I also wanted to compare kind of Atlas and kind of give you guys an idea of what we're going to be expecting with the fully customizable pirate ships and how big they can actually get, and also just how the spacing on the game's going to work, because something I've been worried about recently with Genesis Part 1 is the fact of, with this map-sized biome, what limits are they going to have in place for tribes regarding boats? Because is it going to be like one ship per tribe or something like that? Because I'm wondering how actually big is this map-sized ocean biome, and how are they going to keep the clutter of the ships down? So that's definitely these types of questions that we need to talk about. And if you enjoyed today's video, feel free to drop a like and subscribe, and let's get in with it. So the first point I wanted to bring up was a very good point from ARK Prime Casey, who said, "This is how the islands on the ocean biome from Genesis 1 looked, by the way. Grey rocks, not sandstone. We can avoid another tragedy, there's still time." And when you see this photo, this brings me back. And I say it brings me back, and it's only been like a couple of years, but it actually has been a long time. Is it 5 years since Genesis Part 1? And one thing I did like is it did give that kind of different vibe, the ocean biome. It felt like a kind of tropical experience, if that made sense. Like it didn't just feel like your standard Ark with sand. And then if we go over to this new photo, it kind of looks like they're giving some of the islands, well, they've given some of the island that kind of sandstone experience. And I kind of do agree. I hope they don't lose the vibe of the old Genesis one. I'd rather them, because people don't want things changed like that, right? That will upset people. What people want is what they had before, but better. So I wouldn't think it's a good idea to change that. I'm hoping they're still going to keep this kind of vibe when it comes to the ocean biome and just upgrade it. I think it's a very good point from ARK Prime, and hopefully that is the case. Now, something a lot of you guys actually said was, "Wow, is that the size of the ships? This is really disappointing." And no, this is actually just one of the ships. Like, this is for probably someone that might just want to have a solo mission, you know, over from one island to the other island. You know, something a little bit small to just get yourself around. This is going to be similar to some of the ships you can get in the game. But I saw people saying that's so disappointing if that's the ships in the... And no. We're going to show you guys kind of what we have seen in Atlas, and kind of what you expect. So this was the first glimpse at the upcoming ocean systems currently being tested inside the Genesis Part 1 biome. While the ship assets shown are temporarily borrowed from Atlas and for early functional testing, because the ships are going they're going through like a big TLC process, and how they're going to sail the seas in the new map. So they said, well, it's been borrowed from Atlas. The final release will feature brand new ships built specifically for Ark Survival Ascended. The real focus of this test, however, is the new water physics system built from the ground up for Genesis Part 1. Waves, and this is what people are talking about, right? Because they are talking about how they're going to bring in actual kind of weather effects with the sea. Wildcard have talked about this for years and years and years. They've always mentioned how the kind of like how they've always wanted to, but they've been limited with the technology, and now the technology's got to a stage where they can kind of implement this a bit more into the game. And I've seen a lot of other people saying, I hope they bring this to the other maps, but that would worry me that Wildcard would break something. Because I feel like, you know, with old maps, like, yeah, maybe bring them up to date with the most recent technology, you know, of Unreal Engine 5.7, but then when it comes to, like, actual physics, let that kind of be, you know, leave the OG maps to be the OG maps that, you know, and then just let the new sort of form of maps keep getting better as time goes on. You know, it's like when I did my Island Remastered video, I thought the volcano was so cool, and that kind of thing, maybe that could be implemented into the island. But I think there's a point where there was that map will go down to be legendary, but you kind of leave it to, like, you know, leave it to be the island of what it has been, and we can look forward to really exciting new content like huge waves. Imagine that. That's what I'm excited about. I don't know if Wildcard will be able to pull this off, but I would love to see like waves that actually make it struggle for you to sail the seas. I think that would be really cool. So if you're someone that's never played Atlas before and you kind of want a good understanding about what Genesis Part 1's map-sized ocean biome is actually going to be like, let's take a look at this trailer, because you can also see a little bit of a sneak peek at some of the ships and what they're going to be like too. So as you can see, they're not going to be small. They're going to be fully proper sized pirate ships that you can customize, name them for your tribe, everything. So that's probably kind of what we were seeing a little bit about the smaller ships. Like, you know, every sort of journey you do on the new Genesis map isn't going to be one big journey. You know, it's not always, you know, you might just want to be doing small trips to different islands to explore them. And you might want a smaller mode of transport to do that, not just taking your massive tribe. Because I'm sure at your base, you're going to be docking your ship. So you're going to want to, like, at least not always have to utilize a massive ship to sail the seas. So I think this kind of ocean is what I'm thinking is like, you know, like, are we going to see the weather change, rough seas come into place? This is where I really think PvP is going to really thrive from this, because obviously, you know, people are going to have battles on their ships, cannons shooting at each other. So you're kind of going to have that vibe, but with PvE, it's interesting to see what's the kind of grind. Like, you're going to get your ship, and then is there going to be ghost ships? Is there going to be NPCs sailing the seas? Like how we've just seen those skeletons with the new Astraeus update. Are we going to see something like that? We know the Kraken's coming as well. Hydra. Oh shit. Here we are. So I'm really interested about how these ships have been designed specifically for Ark Survival Ascended, because I'm very, very interested in like how much sort of creativity they're going to give players when designing their ships. So there's a lot of questions when it comes to the launch of Genesis Part 1. Wildcard are definitely choosing this year as a year for them to try and do things they've not done before. Sometimes that's always scary as an Ark player, because that could mean other parts of the game can break. Lost Colony, they got out their comfort zone a bit. They tried something new, and sadly, it was good. People enjoyed it. It was just broken. So literally, I mean, you couldn't even do the boss, and I don't even know, is the boss still broken now? I haven't even done any sort of like most recent checkups, because I just stopped getting involved with anything to do with the boss because it was kind of just pointless. So that's something I'm just really, really hoping that Wildcard sort out, and they make sure that this can be the smoothest launch possible. I would really, really hate to see the waves being broken, us glitching through the seas, boats sinking underwater. I mean, you can kind of see it all already, but I'm going to be positive, right? Because I don't want to be negative before something already starts. I just want to, I like to go into things in life with a bit of positivity. I know it's hard when it's Ark because, you know, we're so used to issues with every single launch. But because they've kind of already had Atlas, which, yes, it was a buggy mess. I will agree with you guys there. I kind of want to give them that kind of benefit of the doubt because they've already got something they can build on. It's, for me, I'm seeing this as, can this finally be the Atlas remastered where things work? So we'll see. I'm really looking forward to experiencing a whole new journey. We know that this DLC is coming in June 2026, so we've literally got 3 months to go now until the launch of this. I expect it to be later on into June, maybe mid to late June. They're never early in the month. But they have done in the past, but I do expect it to be later because I'm sure this has taken up a lot of Wildcard's time as they make sure these systems can be the best possible experience for players. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy today's video, feel free to drop a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.